What I know, I'm gonna do this Grammys recap real quick because as of right now on the East Coast, it's like past my bedtime. So I'm gonna get into the categories that I was actually like interested in because the Grammys is about 3.5 days long. Best New Artist, Samara Joy, she won. Now I'm not gonna pretend like I'm familiar with her music, but she's a black woman. I'm rooting for her. And the best new artists, those who win, they don't necessarily have a long track record of having like a long career. So I'm rooting for her to outdo that and to go on and do bigger and better things. Okay, I'm rooting for her. And I'm going to check out her music because I rock with jazz sometimes. Best rap album, I was checking for that. The categories: God Did, DJ Khaled, I Never Liked You, Future, Come Home, The Kids Miss You, Jack Harlow, It's Almost Dry, Pusha T, and the winner went to Kendrick Lamar, Mr. Morale, and the Big Steppers. I'm on record for saying this continuously, that Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers was hip-hop's most important album in decades, okay? I understand for a lot of people it was a tough listen, but be that as it may, it was a very significant album in the culture, and I applaud Kendrick for always going left no matter what album he always dropped. Now, another one was Best R&B Album, and that category had went off before the Grammys actually aired, and Robert Glasper won that for Black Radio 3. Now, I didn't get a chance to really check out his album this past year. I have been listening to the Black Radio series, but what was disturbing was before the Grammy started, Chris Brown straight up dissed him on some like, who the fuck is this? And he don't know who Robert Glasper is. Yeah, that's trash, man. It just feels like Chris Brown is always doing something suckerish every single year, like he's going for some sort of award, and that ain't necessarily cool. But be that as it may, it's okay that you upset because it's a competitive thing amongst artists sometimes that you want to win, but you don't got to trash the next individual just because they win, all right? So that's how that went. Now, Song of the Year, I'm not gonna lie, I was rocking with Kendrick also again because I really wanted The Heart to win, but I would not have been mad about Break My Soul because, everybody was playing that, and Break My Soul was really, like, liberating for a lot of people. I ain't gonna lie, it was kind of liberating for me, too, although I wasn't gonna quit my job. But it went to Bonnie Raitt for Just Like That, and even she was shocked. We all was shocked. She was shocked, we were shocked, everybody was shocked. She won Song of the Year, but what's the Grammys? What's the Grammys without pissing you off? But wait, there's more. Because at the end, when they did Album of the Year, oh boy, I was rooting for Kendrick again, but I really wanted Beyonce to win, and she did not. And I think she might be 0 for 4 now, somebody mentioned on Twitter, and she lost to Harry Styles. It's almost like every time Beyonce is up for Album of the Year, she loses to somebody that you're just kind of like, what in the hell? And I got to quote my homegirl, Brittany, when Harry Styles got up there and said, quote, "This doesn't happen to people like me," and unquote, my homegirl Brittany on Twitter was like, yeah, it does happen for mediocre white men when fascinating, I'm paraphrasing, above dope black women do amazing things and white men roll out of bed and get an award. Now, here go some highlights of the Grammys that I just want to point out. Shout out to Viola Davis because she won an EGOT for her audio book, Finding Me. And an EGOT is when an artist wins Academy Award, an Emmy, a Tony, and a Grammy. Now, the list for black people, it is short. Okay, you got Whoopi Goldberg, John Legend, Jennifer Hudson, James Earl Jones, Darth Vader got an EGOT, and Harry Belafonte and Quincy Jones. That is it. So shout out to Viola Davis. It opened up, a highlight for me was Bad Bunny. And every time Bad Bunny performs or a song comes on, I regret the fact that I didn't pay attention to my Spanish classes. And by classes, I mean Spanish 1, Spanish 1, and Spanish 1. So shout out to Bad Bunny and all the fans that love him. I'm pretty sure he makes dope music, but that's how it is whenever he comes on for me. But shout out to him. Another highlight also was the fact that Dr. Dre got an award in his name. Now, Dr. Dre, legend, hands down, greatest producer of all time, hip hop icon, and that's what it is. But we're not gonna pretend we ain't see some people on stage in the audience with a little of the twisted face and how some of the reactions because of Dre's personal life, people definitely was looking at that like, why y'all doing this? But Dre is a legend, and I'm kind of on the fence. I don't necessarily really have nothing to say. I didn't even know that award, they were creating an award for Dre, but I also didn't know that the Academy, the Grammys is now being run by a black man. So maybe we're going to see some changes moving forward. Also, another highlight, of course, was the fact that Beyonce has now become the single most, she's won the single most Grammys in any other artist in history. She broke the record at 31. Now, here's the thing. When she won 31 and everybody was applauding, I felt like that was a setup. I definitely felt like that was a setup and she was not going to win Album of the Year. And I wanted to be wrong so bad. even though I was rooting for Kendrick to win album of the year, because there has not been a hip hop album that has won album of the year since Outkast with Speaker Box and The Love Below. Before then, and that was in 2000, I think 3-ish or maybe 4. Before then was Lauryn Hill, The Miseducation. Okay. And before then, I don't think it was anybody. Okay. None at all. So I was rooting for Kendrick, but I definitely would have loved for Beyonce to win album of the year. You know, I just would have wanted that. And that didn't happen, but she definitely became the person who won the most Grammys in the history. So you can't take that from her. But I just felt like they was going to give her that because they knew they were setting her up for the other one. That's just how I'm taking, you know. Another highlight is definitely the 50th anniversary of hip hop. I find it amazing how LL Cool J started off by telling you we couldn't get everybody to perform. We could not get everybody here. We want to acknowledge we couldn't get everybody. He said it very nice and slow, and people are still pissed off about the performance. But look, shout out to my homegirl Charlotte, who was on Twitter. You don't know what artists did not probably want to perform for 30 seconds. Some artists got egos. Some are busy. One of my mans mentioned that Will Smith wasn't going to be there ahead of time because he's filming Bad Boys 4. I don't know if that's true. It sounds right. But hey, there were some highlights of that show. I mean, I definitely love to see Salt and Pepper. I definitely love to see Chuck D and Flavor Flav. LL Cool J changed clothes within seconds and performed. And I definitely love the energy that Nelly brought. I definitely love the energy of the Locks. They were still waving the flag, the victory flag over Dipset because they don't care. That's just who they are. I love to see all of the performances that was there from the old school all the way to the new. Now, I got to admit, the energy did drop down significantly when Lil Baby got to performing. You know, he's part of this kind of too cool era that we see right now, you know, where it's just like they just kind of just do their thing and that's it. And they're not necessarily about to change anytime soon because their fans love the way they just kind of just sway. But there's no way you could have saw that whole performance and not notice that that energy just dropped. I did think that Glorilla, I did think that her performance was a little bit kind of like she was nervous. But that's okay. I mean, your first nationally televised performance on that level and you on there with legends is okay. But I would have wanted her to perform tomorrow too with Cardi. That's just what I would have wanted. You know what I mean? And I definitely was hyped up to see Queen Latifah perform because she's the queen. You understand? So the 50th anniversary tribute was real dope. I mean, what's a tribute show without seeing Melly Mel try to take off his shirt? Well, he did take off his shirt and the cameras are trying to avoid him. If you don't know that history about Melly Mel, then you don't know nothing, but that's just what it is. And finally, I gotta give it up to DJ Khaled's performance for God Did. And I'm giving it up because I really gave up. Because I really don't like when we're watching award shows and they do a performance like outside away from the audience. It's like they're filming a live music video. And for me, I'm like, what's the point? I want to see the performance like on stage. I want to hear the crowd. I want to see you play off that. You understand? Seeing them all at a table and just kind of rapping. I mean, I'm not really interested in that. But I will say this. It was interesting to see DJ Khaled hype up everybody's bars except for Hov. You understand? And we don't often get a chance to see Jay-Z perform. Oh, and shout out to the Carters for showing up late because that's just kind of what they do at this point. Our homegirl Sarah on Twitter said that Beyonce wasn't late. She was just busy. What do you know? But overall, I thought the Grammys was like a good show. I mean, I don't necessarily get upset with the upsets. For me, the last time I got upset at the Grammys is when Kendrick Lamar lost to Macklemore. Anybody see him? Anybody see him? Yeah. See, I'm on the fence. On one end, I don't necessarily believe that these Grammys or the award shows are what define an artist. But on the other end, I definitely believe that if you're going to have an award show, that we need to be included since we are the foundations of 99% of the music that you're out there advertising. So I definitely believe that we should get our just due. So I'm 50-50. So I'm not necessarily going to be upset. It ain't going to change Beyonce's legacy. But damn, can she get one album of the year? I mean, what else Beyonce want to do? You know what I'm saying? What else she got to do for y'all? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get it. But I definitely want another hip hop album to be nominated, you know? And I would like to have more albums in the album of the year than just one hip hop album. Like, give me like 2 hip hop albums within the album of the year category. We're celebrating that hip hop being the youngest genre that's 50 years old and is already global. You need to have more than one hip hop album in the album of the year category. And you need to have more than 2 soul albums in there. And shout out to Mary J. Blige, Queen Mary J. Blige, because Hello Gorgeous was a dope ass R&B album. I really thought it should have won every award that it got nominated for, but it didn't. But it don't change Queen's legacy. All right, so that's my take on the Grammys. You tell me what you think in the comments below. I'm about to go to bed. That's just what it is for me. As usual, you be blessful, you be successful, and I'll talk to you soon. Deuces.